Take a look at our text-dependent analysis question for Unit 1, Week 5. The question says, compare and contrast the points of view of the authors of Smart Cars for Clean Air and Fewer Cars for Clean Air. Use text evidence from both texts to explain how the viewpoints are similar and different. So we have to start by restating our prompt. So the prompt says, how do the authors compare and contrast the viewpoints in both of these? So remember, the viewpoints, or how the author's point of view is how the author feels. So let's go up and read the first story, Smart Cars for Clean Air. Cars take us to school, work, and anywhere else we want to go. We rely on cars to get us to a wide variety of places, and fast. There is no doubt that the automobile has made our lives easier in a number of ways. But there is also no doubt that cars are slowly killing our planet. It is clearly time to rethink how we use cars in our daily lives. While cars have given us the convenience of easy travel, the pollution that they cause is a serious consequence. The Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, says that gas-powered vehicles such as cars, trucks, and bulldozers are the main cause of air pollution in large cities in the United States. In fact, they cause air pollution throughout the entire world. Environmentalists have talked about the dangerous effects of air pollution for decades. One way to stop this pollution is to buy hybrids. These are cars that run on both gasoline and electricity. Vehicles are responsible for air pollution because they run on fossil fuel. When the fuel is burned in the process of running a car, pollutants are released into the air. As long ago as the 1900s, some experts said that burning gasoline in automobiles could damage the environment. Studies show that we are now paying the price with our quality of air today. Those experts were right. Hybrid vehicles currently coexist with gas-powered cars. Hybrids could significantly reduce the pollution we release into the air. It is true that these cars still use gasoline, but they certainly use a lot less of it. Hybrid cars utilize a combination of gasoline and electricity. One specific type of hybrid is a particularly good choice. This is because this type relies mostly on electric power. An electric motor turns the car's wheels, and gasoline is used to generate the electricity. The car is recharged by plugging it into an electrical outlet. If everyone were required to drive a hybrid car, the amount of pollution from the use of gas would be hugely reduced. The government could make it a precondition that all new car owners buy hybrids. Drivers would not be allowed to buy cars that only run on gasoline. We would also be conserving our fossil fuels for other machines. Hybrid cars have other advantages too. Since they use gasoline, they can be refueled at any gas station so that the driver is not left stranded if there is nowhere to charge the battery. They are a great choice because they do not require a huge lifestyle change for drivers. They are very similar to the gas-powered cars that we are so familiar with. They just have one major difference. They greatly improve the environment in which we live. Hybrid cars are the best choice to reduce air pollution around the world. Transcontinental car manufacturers should be required to stop selling the gas-guzzling cars of yesterday. Instead, they should sell hybrids at reasonable prices so that people will be able to buy them. The future of our planet is at stake. So that last paragraph does a great job at telling me how this author feels. They feel that cars are making a huge issue in our environment by polluting the air, and they think the solution to this is that everybody should drive hybrid cars. So that is me finding out the point of view for this author for this story. Let's look at the next story. This one's called Fewer Cars for Clean Air. So just looking at the title, I think they want to have fewer cars instead of just hybrid cars. Cars are a major part of most of our lives. People count on their cars to do the things they need to do every day. But there is a downside to having so many cars on the road. As gasoline is burned, it releases pollution and harmful gases into the air. These get trapped in our atmosphere and increase the temperature of Earth. As the temperature goes up, ice melts and ocean levels rise. This can create international problems for people who live on coastlines. Rising temperatures affect people, animals, and plants around the world. The intake of polluted air can be harmful to people. If people were to burn less gasoline, there would be fewer carbon emissions from our cars. This, in turn, would create less air pollution. Public transportation is the solution to our air pollution problem. People need to stop using their cars and find ways to get to places. Public transportation is the use of buses, trains, subways, ferries, and other vehicles meant to carry a group of passengers. The benefit of public transportation is that only one vehicle releases air pollutants. Consider if 50 people rode a bus instead of driving cars. That would eliminate a lot of gasoline and emissions. Public transportation has other benefits too. If this mode of travel were put into effect everywhere in the United States, it could greatly improve traffic problems on the streets. It would also save people money that they would be spending at the gas pump. Having fewer cars on the road also reduces the use of fossil fuels that are slowly being used up. These fossil fuels are not renewable resources. We cannot create more fuel once it is all gone. Some people have supported the use of electric or hybrid cars as an alternative to gas-powered cars. But I disagree. These vehicles still involve the use of gas in some cases. They are also expensive and are still being perfected. Public transportation has already been proven to work and to improve the quality of our environment. Public transportation might require a slight change in lifestyle, but do not misjudge the amount of help it can do. Isn't it worth it to ride a train or bus when you are helping to keep the air you breathe as clean as possible? We owe it to the planet to try to protect and respect it. After all, Earth is the only home we have. Let's do our part to improve the world in which we live. Back to that TDA question. Compare and contrast the points of view the authors of Smart Cars for Clean Air and Fewer Cars for Clean Air use text evidence from both texts to explain how the viewpoints are similar and different. So I'm going to go here and grab a text box, and we're going to state see if I can get this to go. All right. Indent for my paragraph. The authors in both stories have similar and different points of view about how cars should be used. They both believe, now we got to think, what do they say that they both have? Both stories are saying that cars are the reason that we have pollution in our air. So they both believe that cars are the reason that we have pollution in the air, comma, but they now think, what don't they agree in? What is the opposite? And remember, the first story says we should use hybrid cars, and the second story says we should use public transportation. So when we say that, we got to come up with a way to put that into one or a few words that can finish up my sentence. What is that? And that is, they both have a different way in which we should solve the problem. So they both believe the same problem, but they think that there should be a different way to solve it. But they believe the problem of air pollution should be solved differently. So that, boys and girls, is our introductory paragraph. Nothing I didn't copy anything from the text yet. I didn't find that text evidence, but remember, it asks me to prove it with text evidence. This is just the answer. The answer has to come from my brain. Now that I know that answer, I need to go back into the text. This is the part that you should use your highlighter for, to highlight. We're going to find where do they believe that there is air pollution, and then where is their problem, how they're going to solve it. So let's go to the first story, Smart Cars for Clean Air. and see where we can find that they believe that air pollution is a problem. Look in the first paragraph. Cars take us to work and anywhere else we want to go. We rely on cars to get us to a wide variety of places and fast. Does that say anything about air pollution? Not yet. There is no doubt that the automobile has made our lives easier in a number of ways. But there is also no doubt that cars are slowly killing our planet. So there we go. We have that they think that cars are killing our planet. I'm going to pick my highlighter here, and I'm going to say, but there is no doubt that cars are slowly killing our planet. That is my first text evidence that proves that this article, Smart Cars for Clean Air, is showing that the cars are causing an issue in our planet. Now let's go to the other story and see if we can find where cars are causing an issue. Back to the first paragraph. Cars are a major part of most of our lives. People count on cars to do the things they need to do every day. But there is a downside to having so many cars on the road. As gasoline, here we go, is burned, it releases pollution and harmful gases into the air. So that is showing me where I need to find to put my next paragraph. So let's go back to our writing and switch back to my text box. And I'm going to skip a line. And I'm going to indent, excuse me, the author of the story. Yeah, I need to get that title, Smart Cars for Clean Air. Now it's a short story, so we should put it in quotation marks. Smart Cars for Clean Air, comma, and the author of the story. Let me get the next title. Fewer Cars for Clean Air. Fewer Cars for Clean Air. Both believe that the reason that we have air pollution is because of cars, and we need to fix this problem. So now that I have that, I need to find that text evidence. And yes, this is going to be a lot of writing. We have to stop worrying about that. We have to make sure we get all the pieces that are in there. So I have to say, the text states from Smart Cars for Clean Air. Now it's time for me to copy what this says. But there is also no doubt that cars are slowly killing our planet. So let me go here. And I put a quotation mark to show that I am copying. It's right from the text. But there is also no doubt that cars are slowly killing our planet. This is the part that most of you are good with. Now, but as soon as I write the text states, I need to explain why did I put that text evidence there. This text evidence means that the author believes that cars are hurting. You have to know what killing means, right? The earth, know what our planet is, by, and if you remember reading it, we can add more of that information that we learned, by pollution, by putting, how about we put putting pollution into the air. So that's for the first text. Now this is different than any other TDA we've done so far because it wants to do us to compare and contrast. So now I need to put the author of fewer cars for clean air. Now I do want to go back and put some quotation marks. Remember, short stories get quotation marks. States, because there's here, I'm going to copy the text from this one. Let me go back and read it. As gasoline is burned, it releases pollution and harmful gases into the air. Go back to my TDA. As gasoline is burned, it releases, let me go back, I forgot, pollution and harmful gases into the air. Pollution and harmful gases into the air. And I need to fix this because I said text states. And we need some quotation marks, and that started with a capital letter. Now, I am not going to give you the answer here, but you need to say, you need to explain why this text evidence means, and now you need to explain why did we choose that text evidence. So finish out this paragraph by letting me know why you put that. And now I'm going to have you think about our next paragraph, which is the third paragraph. And if we go back up to our answer, we can see that we said they both believe that cars are the reason that we have pollution in the air. But they believe the problems of the pollution should be solved differently. So that is their different point of view. So I'm going to go over to my other page because I ran out of room. We give you 3 pages for this. It never wants to shrink up for me here. I guess that's big enough. All right. Indent. We can say the authors of the stories have a different point of view on how to solve the problem of air pollution. Now, we talked that the first story, they say we should use hybrid cars. In the second story, they say we should use fewer cars by using public transportation. But your job is going to be taking that highlighter, going back in and finding a sentence that says that. Then you will say the text states from the first story and copy what you wrote, what you highlighted. And then don't forget, this means, and then in the next sentence, you'll say the text states from the second story, highlight it from what this means, and say this means afterwards, and explain why you highlighted that one. There are multiple sentences that you can highlight. There is not just one right sentence to highlight, including what we highlighted. There were probably other sentences that showed about air pollution. So remember that problem that they want to solve differently. One says hybrid cars, and one says public transportation. So you need to find those spots and highlight those, and that's what you're going to copy. Remember, the text states, this means. The text states, this means. You're going to have 2 of those in here, just like we had 2 in the other story. Then you need 1 more paragraph, and that's your conclusion. That can be short and sweet and to the point, and you can say the authors of the story have different points of view on how to solve a problem that they both believe is the same. That sentence would be just fine. And so that, boys and girls, TDAs are long. TDAs take us some time, but it also is a way for you to show me that you have analyzed, that was one of our vocabulary words, analyze the text and really understand what's going on. That's the point of this. I look forward to reading your TDAs, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.